Anime finished this year number 46, My Happy Marriage, 7 out of 10. This is one that I was really actively looking forward to since I had heard a lot of good things about the source material but not had a chance to read it. Not to mention it being a sort of alternate history period piece was just the sort of thing I needed after being reminded how much I like that sort of series with Oku a few months back. Toss in some light fantasy elements at the start that grow into more prominence later, and we had a good time on our hands here. There are only a few things that hold this one back from me being able to consider it more highly or think of it as a favorite, though I am still very excited to see the second season that was just announced. Firstly, it cannot go unmentioned that while this series definitely showed that it has the capacity to be really beautiful when it wants to be, there are also some points where the production values do suffer somewhat. I don't know if this was perhaps the result of time management or deadlines, but I do know that there is talent on this team since there are some lovely moments here. Hopefully, whatever problem there is can be smoothed out in the future because I would love to see more. Then there is the issue of Mio. I like her a lot, don't get me wrong, and I think she's a great example of a character that has seen some pretty severe trauma that isn't just magically fixed by getting out of a bad situation. The series does show the way that she needs time to figure herself out and adjust, that sometimes she can end up backsliding a little because growth is not a linear process. I do not think that she's a bad character, and I think with the growth she goes through and the way she finds her own voice, she makes for a pretty good lead. There's just the problem that she sometimes veers a little close to the precious little waif territory for my liking. Does it make sense for her? Yes, absolutely. It's just that sometimes her depiction rides the borderline of going too far there. It never tips over, thankfully, and I get the impression that it won't be as borderline in the future given the growth she's gone through, but for part of the season I was bracing myself for the depiction to suddenly turn poor. Thankfully, though, it never did.